I think at a global level, the challenge in energy is also an opportunity. And why do I say that? I say that because there is population growth. There is almost north of 600 million people around the world has limited or no access to power. Okay, that also fuel growth. So what I'm trying to say here is globally, okay, the key word that needs to be kept in mind is growth. Growth is a challenge and an opportunity. In the developed nations and the developed world, we are becoming more efficient in the way we behave, efficient in the way we construct our buildings, efficient in the way we transport ourselves, okay? But with that in mind, the demand is still there for energy. So the growth of the energy demand will continue. The challenge, in my view, is to provide access to that growth. In certain, I mentioned 600 million people around the world has limited access or no access to power, for example. Okay, so why? So it's accessibility. Okay, do they need power? Yes, they do. There are certain cities around the world, okay, they are having challenge transporting that power. Why? Accessibility. So accessibility. Now, accessibility within our sector, when we say energy, it means distribution networks, grids, high voltage, medium voltage, so on and so forth. To actually provide and enhance this infrastructure requires a lot of capital, requires the right policies, the right regulations to enable investors and developers to provide such infrastructure. So the enhancement of these infrastructures that will transport to the end customer the access of that power is needed. From our perspective, we see renewable energy playing a big role in that challenge. You can move renewable energy into places that does not have infrastructure. You know, distributed solar, distributed wind, along with microgrids, okay? So these solutions are available, and they are actually, when we think about power and energy access, they are not similar. I'm not trying to say they are similar. They are a bit different, obviously, in regards of the infrastructure. But we do have solutions today, renewables with microgrids and smart grids and storage, which will allow cheap, accessible power to regions who has no access or limited access to power. Solar and wind or other renewables, it depends which renewable are we talking about. For example, hydro is a renewable and it's consistent depending on the rainfall, obviously, and the storage behind the dam. But when you talk about clouds, does it impact solar panels? Yes, but it's definitely reliable. It's reliable, and if you club it with electrical storage, which is available and also reliable, you can provide sustainable baseload electricity. One example, Khema Solar, the first of its kind concentrated solar power, that works 24 hours. Why? Because we clubbed the solar renewable energy source with thermal storage, which allowed our plant, which is at the end of the day a utility plant that uses solar as a source as a feedstock, to produce electricity on a base load. That by itself was first of its kind. A revolution in the way renewable energy is seen. Now obviously, when we go back, when we inaugurated Khema Solar almost now 7 years ago, give and take 8 years ago, that solution was a bit expensive. If you compare it to what? If you compare it to the conventional power generation. Conventional power generation could be from coal, could be from gas, liquid fuels, or any other source. So if you compare both, you say, wait a minute, it is base load, it's renewable energy, it's clean, I like it, but it's a bit expensive if I compare it to the conventional power. Today, we provided a similar solution in Morocco, okay, that could provide renewable energy at a base load at 6.3 US cents. And just to put things into perspective, the average cost in electricity in Morocco, and mainly it's coming from coal-fired power plant, you're talking about 11 cents. It's basically CSP, thermal storage, and it's a hybrid solution technology. So can renewable energy play a role as a base load solution with competitive pricing? Today, yes. Today, definitely yes. Depends on the jurisdiction, depends on the country, depends on the geography. The most advanced in the world, I would say, is Germany today. There is no doubt about that. Homes in the future will start talking to other homes within the neighborhood. You will be selling your power, your access to power to your neighbor, and you will be buying power from your neighbor whenever you need it, and vice versa. And these called the smart systems, the smart homes. So clubbing the power generation technologies, the storage technologies with the smart homes system technology, is that going to disrupt centralized large infrastructure utilities? In my view, no. Okay, so you will still have large scale utilities because scale matters. Okay, scale matters. With scale, you have efficiencies. With scale, you become more competitive. So you will have both. And this solution, this community, smart system, smart village, smart community, smart homes talking to each other, trading with each other, it all depends, in my view, on the regulation of the state itself, which will allow that flexibility and that agility. But for example, Masdar, I mean, let's talk about Masdar here a little bit rather than the whole world. And we have that ability. You know, the ability to pioneer, the ability to demonstrate, the ability to pilot solutions. Okay, we are, I would say, one of the first in the region to put in, you know, smart grids within our community. Smart metering. Even though the regulation did not allow it. It did not tick the box. They don't have it. You know, when you tell them, you know, guys, I have a great mobility solution that uses battery storage and it dries by itself 10 years ago. Imagine, 10 years ago. I mean, the first reaction from the regulator is like, what? How can I register such a tool? How can do I register it as a car, as a bus? But even if I want to register it as a car, the system does not allow me. You can imagine. So we, within Masdar city, this urban community, we have that flexibility. We are blessed with that flexibility because we own our own community. Okay? So we can demonstrate to the public, demonstrate to the regulators that, you know, sustainable urban development makes sense. Okay? It is also safe. You know, safety in the mind of the regulator is very important. You know, you mentioned cybersecurity. But what if, you know, somebody attacked the smart home system and disrupted the whole village, for example, or the whole community? Valid point. Definitely valid point. Okay? So within Masdar, okay, we are blessed to have the ability to implement future technologies, future solutions within our domain, obviously, and test these solutions, okay, and provide reports, analysis, research, around these solutions to the regulators. Okay? And if it makes sense, then the regulator will make the necessary changes to implement these solutions. And we have seen it throughout the life of this institution. Okay? But not only that, we have another mandate, okay, is to take these technology solutions that we believe that they will be used part of our future advancement and make it more commercially viable. So yes, we have global presence, but we are not at the scale we would like to be. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we are extremely delighted with the announcement that we have won that project alongside our partners. And we are very happy to start that project. And hopefully we are going to start very soon. We've actually started, but really kick it off at site. And we are actually looking forward to get more projects in the kingdom. There are several projects that are coming up in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They have a very transparent process. They have a clear targets when it comes to renewable energy. And we are participating alongside our partners. Increase their foothold in terms of the energy mix percentage. But gas will play a very important role in the future. When you look at power generation and power generation sources, generally speaking, you will have a negative growth in coal-fired power plants, a positive single-digit growth, low single-digit growth between 3 to 4% in natural gas, and then you have a high single-digit growth or maybe low-teen growth in renewable energy. Okay, and that's the mix. So in the future, less and less coal-fired plants will be constructed and developed. Nuclear is at almost zero or negative growth. Yani you would not see in the future, and these are numbers, statistical numbers, you will not see more nuclear power plants being developed or coal-fired power plants being developed globally. Obviously, there will still be new plants, but there will be more plants shutting down than ones are coming in. Okay, that's why you see a neutral growth in nuclear, negative growth in coal. In the UAE, we have a clear mix and clear targets at the federal level and also at a state level. So the UAE is saying that we would like to have 50% of our energy mix coming from renewable and clean energy sources by 2050. And they have a plan, clear path, how to achieve that target. And Masdar is and will continue to play a very important role in ensuring that the UAE achieves this target, be it in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or Sharjah or the Northern Emirates.